And if I have to tap out, it's just because I'm at work, but I had to get in here for a second. I'm of the belief that this is some kind of setup, that the FBI fell for some kind of bait. I don't know if it was you or another caller that mentioned that there might be some sort of mole or insider that pointed them straight to like, oh, this is where the goods are at. But it could very well be, yes, that's the case, but also homie was directed in that specific direction, because I know it's going to be dismissed and people can go crazy over the whole Q thing, but I very much believe in the moves and counter moves aspect, and that this could very well be a ploy to introduce some kind of evidence into the conversation in a legal capacity.
Okay.
Secondly,
go ahead.
Secondly, the pretense that this is about him having taken documents. First off, oh bummer, took thousands upon thousands of documents under the pretense of I'm going to digitize them. To this day, he has not digitized a single document and still holds on to all of that. And on top of that, sealed everything so that, you know, so we couldn't see what he was doing.
If Obama did that, why didn't Trump get those documents back? He was in charge. He could have sent the FBI to do that. Why didn't he do that?
I mean, who knows that you know, the right person doesn't have them? Because
why didn't he clarify it then? Why are we still so shaky on what even happened? Trump was in charge of the FBI. Why didn't he get clarity on this?
Well, you've probably heard the argument or the quote-unquote conspiracy that it's actually the military in charge. I very much believe that to some extent, Trump did play the part of president and probably legally on record, all of that went through, but that he was actually recruited by the military to run for president, because had they gone in and taken down Obama like they intended to, because they saw what he was doing, and I'm not talking about just the guns to Mexico and the money pallets overseas, and I mean, you name it.
Let me ask you, who was recruited by the military? Who are you suggesting that was recruited by the military?
Trump was recruited by the military because they knew if they went in and took Obama down and out of office like they planned to, people would lose their shit.
So who in the military would make the call to recruit Trump to run for president, a guy who's never had any political experience? Who in the military would be in charge to make that call?
I mean, you've heard the term white hats, right? There's good guys in there that sat around, that were in on the conversation, that overheard XYZ, that have the you know, that are privy to top level information, that probably thought, holy shit, these people have fully infiltrated all levels of the executive branch, the legislative branch. I mean, you name it. There's bad players in every capacity, whether in private industry or on the public side of things.
We need some names. We can't just have a blind. And you say the military.
Bro, I would love to give you names, and that's why you have to watch the, you know, the minutia and everything that's going on. That's why when people are up in arms talking about, oh, Trump got raided, I'm just sort of like, okay. And that's why, again, I'm making the argument that maybe this was a setup to some extent to have the FBI legally take information, and then they're in a position to where they have no choice but to act on whatever it is that they found.
So
I'm not saying...
what you're saying is kind of complicated. If you believe the military can recruit a president, then I guess you would assume that the military recruited President Biden as well?
Well, that's the flip side of the coin. That's what we call the deep state, if you will. That's the Hillary syndicate and friends.
What is the deep state? I hear that all the time in right-wing circles. What is that?
It is these clandestine. I fucking struggle with that word every time. It's these operatives that their whole aim from the very beginning, the only reason why they're gunning for positions of power is because they want to take the operation from the inside out. They want to completely dismantle America. They want Sharia law is, I mean, you name it. There's so many facets to this, and that's the opportunity that we have as Americans, is that there's so many factions involved to the deep state that they don't even agree with one another. They're all in a struggle for power.
Give me some names of deep state members, because you're giving me these groups, but we have to break this stuff apart to find out who, because no matter what you're talking about, whether it's the deep state, military recruit, there is a human being. There are people making up these groups. Give me some names, some deep state names.
Well, okay, it depends on what aspect you're fronting, I guess. So, like, there's like the Hollywood side of things.
The ones you're suggesting that decided to recruit Biden for president. Give me some names.
Well, apparently Kamala was recruited herself because she couldn't even pull out a 2% when she was running on her own terms. But
so Kamala Harris is a deep state member.
I mean, some people are used.
You're not giving me clarity. You're not giving me clarity. You're giving me more things to wonder about. Give me a deep state name.
Okay, Jill Biden probably, bro. One of the big. Well, you have to understand is everyone's heard the term Freemasons, right? We all have heard about these Freemasons and how allegedly they're running around making calls in the power circles and whatnot. One of the things that Q alleged to very early in the conversation, again, it'll be dismissed and I'll be trolled for it, whatever, is that you have to watch the wives. These ladies behind closed doors are having their own secret meetings, completely orchestrating all kinds of power moves and then pushing their husband. Oh, Nancy Pelosi, thank you. That is an excellent
so let me ask
major player in the quote-unquote deep state here.
Are there any deep state members that are Republican or MAGA?
Probably, dude. You got it. If you're a really good bad guy, you're in and you're deep in. So it's one of those tricky situations where you don't know who to trust. Think about all these rhinos that turned on Trump, for example.
Okay.
That's not a real Republican. And when I say Republican, I mean a Republican as in for the Republic of America, not just by party title. If you're a true patriot, then you're not going to just
I asked you, what is a deep state? You said somebody who wants to break up America. You think Nancy Pelosi wants to break America up?
Yes. She does not believe in the Constitution. She is very much all for self-gain. Her and her family have had a dynastic rule in California for the last 200 years. She is the aunt of Gavin Newsom, for those who didn't know that. She is, through marriage, related to Adam Schiff, who is very much...
Let me ask you this question then. If you think Nancy Pelosi wants to break the country up, Nancy Pelosi has been an elite powerhouse in this country for a significant period of time, probably before you were alive. If she wants to do this, why hasn't she gotten further? I mean, the country is nowhere near being broken up. According to Trump, just a couple years ago, the country was great and the most united in its history. So if she wants to do what you're suggesting, why hasn't she gained more ground, considering how long she's been in power at the top level?
I mean, do you really believe she hasn't gained ground? You really don't. I mean, look at what she's doing, dude. She's got Taiwan and China breathing down her neck on both sides. Who knows what she was up to?
You said America. You said she wants to divide America. Now you're in. Now you're over in Asia.
The world is a stage, bro. No. It's all connected. It is all connected. If it was just an isolated situation, then we wouldn't have any dealings with any of these other people. They are all in on it.
Okay. Now, when you mentioned, and I'm gonna have to part ways in a minute, but I'll let you get the last word. But when you mentioned Q, a lot of the stuff you said about Q is just going to get dismissed. Why do you think people automatically dismiss stuff coming from Q?
Because the mainstream media is coordinated in that effort. Every talk show, every morning show, every news outlet, you name it. If they are part of legacy media, corporate media, all of it. They have been in a coordinated effort from the very inception of that particular movement to, I mean,
So
dismiss it by any means necessary, whether making fun of it or.
Yeah, I get your point. I get your point about the media, but my issue is: do you not think that some of the dismissal towards Q may have something to do with the fact they said a significant amount of stuff that has not come true? Oh, remember, Trump was going to be reinstated in February. The military was going to arrest Nancy Pelosi and Biden. Trump was going to be reinstated in August. He was going to be like the 13th president. I mean, I am by no means Q. And I'm able to rattle off a host of things that Q has stated that was going to come true that did not. Why do they say so much stuff that doesn't come to fruition?
You just answered it right there. You said you're not much of a Q person, but that you can name all these incidents that did not come to fruition. What you have to understand is that there's people that take what Q says and inject their own times, their own dates. They make their own predictions based on this very vague notion. Half the time that Q states something, it's in the form of a question. He's not telling us anything outright because that would be
How do you know Q is a he? How do you know Q is a he? Do you even know who the person is?
Well, I'm a big believer, and one more thing I'll be trolled for, that's totally cool by me, is that Q is actually, in fact, JFK Jr. himself, and that he did, in fact, fake his death, beat Hillary to the punch in 99 when they were both running for the Senate seat. The deep state is very much capable of taking someone out for power, just like they did with his dad, and he is very much aware of, or was very much aware of that, and probably likely is. And you have to remember, JFK Jr. and Trump were best friends when he was alive to the public eye. It would not surprise me in the slightest.
I was alive when the handsome JFK Jr. went down in a plane crash.
Very handsome.
He had his girlfriend in the plane. They recovered both bodies. So you're saying the girlfriend also faked her death?
We do not know that they recovered both bodies because allegedly they were cremated within less than 24 hours, which is very unusual. The whole situation is very suspect. If you really go back, and I encourage you to probe a little deeper. And the fun part is there have been multiple incidents at different Trump rallies where they have allegedly both been spotted in the audience. And there's one particular, I believe it was the inauguration of Trump himself, possibly. There's this picture of Hillary shaking someone's hands, and she looks like she saw a ghost. And we, in my circle, believe it is that particular individual.
Were they like at a Tupac concert or something? You're losing me now. Okay, so you believe that JFK is still alive and he is indeed Q?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to hear from you. Hey, listen, even though we don't agree,
I just followed you. I'll DM you the picture that I'm talking about where she saw said ghost.
Send it. It might make, for instance, an interesting conversation. Despite our disagreements, you're welcome back anytime, man. All right. Enjoy your day at work. Catch you later.
Too, Vet.
Okay.